Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis, preventing tunnel vision and allowing quick target acquisition in awkward shooting positions. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Welcome to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, where there's more to talk about than shooting. There's reloading and hunting and self-defense, too.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. The magic number, if you'd like to be a part of the party, give me a call, 866-TALK-GUN. Pretty easy stuff. We talk a good bit about self-defense around here because, well, in every poll that's ever been done that I'm aware of for 50-plus years, the number one reason that people give for why they own firearms is self-protection. Simple as that. But there's really nothing simple about the whole deal. And the more you learn about it, the more you realize you need to learn more. It's why when I say when you start going and getting real training at a good gunfighting school, you have that moment where you go, holy cow, there's a whole bunch of this stuff that I was simply not aware of. I need to know more about this. And there's the training that comes with, about the shooting, and there's how to get yourself out of a situation without shooting. And then there's the what do you do if you're in the middle of the gunfight? And then there's the part, what do you do after? What happens after? And I think maybe a lot of people don't give as much thought to that as they should. One of the guys we go to when we're trying to figure that whole thing out, from the training aspect all the way through the gunfighting to the what do you do after, is Marty Hayes from the Firearms Academy of Seattle, but also the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network. Hey, Marty, how are you, sir?
I am doing fine, thank you.
So, with your interesting career, you've got a career in law enforcement and then decided to become a lawyer, and you've always been a firearms trainer. You put all those things together and you come up with the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network, which is what? How do you explain the network to people?
Well, before we do that, I'm not a lawyer. I never took the bar. I just have the law degree. That's
okay. You got a law degree. Okay, good deal. All right. I knew you'd gone to law school. Okay.
Yeah. I was actually going to be a lawyer, and then I hit upon the idea of the network, and I said, I don't have to be a lawyer to do this. And
to help people, yeah.
And I'm actually free to do a lot more things because I don't have to worry about having a bar card, et cetera. So.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. All right. So what is the network? How do you explain it?
We're almost 17,000 like-minded armed citizens who have joined together to help fight unmeritorious prosecutions of any given individual member who was involved in an incident, and the prosecutor is singling them out for for assimilation, you might say. I'm a big Star Trek fan. So.
Okay, so somebody gets involved in a self-defense shooting, and sometimes they shoot, sometimes they don't, sometimes people get hit, sometimes they don't, and, the prosecutor says, okay, we're going to charge you with a crime. And if this person, man or woman, is a member of the network comes in and says, what? We're going to take a look at this?
No, the network comes in and says, asks, was this a self-defense situation? And if they say yes, then we say, how much money does your lawyer need to get your legal defense going, get legal representation? So in the event you have to go face a grand jury or you have to sit down with the prosecutor and discuss the case, then you've got legal representation right now. In fact, we've just done a couple of those within the last couple of months where network members had to shoot and kill individuals, and we instantly got them legal protection, paid the attorneys, or arranged for payment in one case, and within a day the network member had legal counsel, had set up appointments, had legal representation, and they have not been charged with a crime, which is the ultimate win.
Well, was one of those the one you called me about?
Well, I really can't say, but you can probably read between the lines.
Yes, okay. I mean, and so I would just say I'm tangentially was involved, and they just basically, hey, do you know of an attorney? And at that point, I bowed out and said, I know somebody who might be able to make a recommendation. But the point of what your story is, the money comes up instantly, not after somebody has basically bankrupted himself going through the process, because And I guess this is what I would ask is, why is it important to act so quickly to get on the front end of all this thing?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is that you don't want to have to sit there and make a decision. Do I talk to the police without legal representation because I can't afford it and hopefully prevent me from being charged with the crime? Or do I have legal representation right now so I'm free to sit down and talk with the police with the lawyer present? And so he doesn't allow you to say anything you shouldn't be saying. But I think probably just as important is that it sets the tone for the rest of the investigation. When the police and prosecutor know that you are being legally represented, probably by one of the better attorneys in the area, perhaps even a former prosecutor who sits and has lunch with the good old buds once in a while, then the case goes a lot smoother.
And, of course, the goal would be to make it go away as early in the process as possible, to the point where the prosecutor, the district attorney, looks at it and goes, yeah, we're not going to bring any charges at all on this thing.
Right. And
so let me ask you this. And I know you get this question all the time. People say, well, I'm involved in a self-defense shooting. Should I talk to the police?
Well, you pretty much have to, because unless you got somebody there with you that's going to call 911, you're probably going to call 911 and start talking to the police right now.
Right. Okay. So that conversation is being recorded. So You're going to be talking to them, and people will say, well, don't say anything to police. I'm thinking, well, that's one of those yeah, but things, isn't it?
Exactly. Every situation is dependent upon the facts, and all the facts are always different. But in my world, the police need to know what crime they should be investigating. Is it the crime of murder by you, or is it the crime of attempted rape or attempted robbery or burglary by the deceased? And unless they have enough information to have a clear channel on which crime to investigate, then they'll probably pick the easy way and say, well, we got a dead body and a smoking gun. Let's investigate that murder. And
that makes a lot of sense. They walk it up, hey, look, we got somebody is shot, we got a guy with a gun, we can go that direction easily. So that makes sense. All right, so back to the network. You got almost 17,000 people who have essentially banded together, pooled their money, but you do more than just find them an attorney. If need be, you can provide expert witnesses and kind of, if not representation, at least help for their legal counsel.
Right. Yeah, we start out by making sure they've got representation, but then, depending on the facts of the case, we'll provide extra money. Right now, we've got one case in California that is sitting there in legal limbo. We've paid out, I think, $100,000 to the attorney to represent our member in a legal proceeding, and I personally don't think it's going to go anywhere, but the attorney's got it on a retainer just in case. And then with that money, the attorney is free to hire investigators, hire experts, whatever that case needs. And so that's where the power of the network comes in. Is that all we got to do is just write them a check and put it in express mail. And because we've got $1.6 million right now in our legal defense fund.
Wow, that is amazing. And people say, well, why would I need that? So, well, basically you're insuring everything that you own as well as your liberty, your ability to stay out of not just jail, out of prison for the next 20 or 30 years. So, all right, what's a year's membership, or how does it break down? You have different levels?
We don't do all the different level garbage that other companies do. We don't have all kinds of benefits like we'll help you clean up the mess afterwards, or if you can't handle this psychological stress, you can get counseling. And I'm not putting those down, but frankly, that's not really what you need right now. What you need is legal assistance, and that's all we provide. And so, having said that, we have one low-cost fee, $135, which gets you 8 educational DVDs plus a Massad's book, Deadly Force, Boy, I forgot the name of the book.
Masada, you got the, of course, it's not the end. It's not the in the grave is extreme, is it?
Deadly force in self-defense.
Okay, yeah, Masada, you be a great book.
Right.
And Marty, I'm up against my time. I got to run here, but I'm just going to. How do people get involved if they say, "Yeah, that makes sense. I need to get some of this"?
ArmedCitizensNetwork.org.
ArmedCitizensNetwork.org works out well. And while you're there, poke around. You may find a pretty nice training facility to go to. I've been to your place out there, and it's not just the great place, but it's the great instructors that you have. So I'm just going to put a plug in for the Firearms Academy of Seattle while I'm here.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Marty. Best to everybody there. Take care. All right, 866 Talk Gun. Get you in here. I will be back in just a minute.
Laser sights are an essential firearms training tool, improving the skill level of the shooter by enhancing proper fundamentals like sight alignment and trigger control, and providing life-saving practices that can be depended on in moments of crisis. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
Want great deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gundealio app today. With Gundealio, you can search for deals, listen to the Gun Talk podcast, watch gun videos, read gun news, and get notifications right to your phone about deals and special offers. Save money on the products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gundealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
Brownells has gone retro. Check out Brownells' new line of retro AR-15 and AR-style 308 rifles at brownells.com/retro. Whether you're looking for Eugene Stoner's original 308 design, the famous M16A1, Air Force 601, or the XM177 carbine, Brownells has the classic, new production, old-school rifle of your dreams. Own the firearm you used in basic training, carried in service, or that Grandpa always talks about. See more at brownells.com/retro.
All right, I talk about the Blink cameras a lot around here because, well, I like them. I use them. In fact, I use them all the time. And yes, the Blink camera system is great. They're small cameras. They're, relatively inexpensive. I think they're cheaper than pretty much everything I've looked at out there. You don't have to pay for a subscription fee. And yes, you will get alerts when there are intruders, when somebody's walking around outside. I have to share a crazy story with you, okay, though, because sometimes you just see stuff that's going, oh, really? Okay. And I've got the Blink cameras set up. And some friends came over to the house, and they didn't know, they knew I had a camera, but they didn't know where it was, okay? And so they knew they were somewhere, they were in the vision of the camera, but they couldn't find the camera. They couldn't see it, just to where I put it. And so I get this motion alert, and that's one of the cool parts about it. You get this motion alert, blink, and then you go look at the video, and they've got their hands up in the air, and they're waving around, they're looking for the camera, and for all intents and purposes, it looks like a bunch of people at a cult waving at the sun, and they're all turning around trying to find it because they can't find the camera. And I'm just cracking up looking at this. And it's yes, this is serious stuff, and it's really good security cameras, and I like the Blink system. But occasionally, interesting things happen. If you want to get some of the Blink cameras, and I'm not kidding, I really do use these. You go to blinkprotect.com/guntalk. That'll get you the extra 15% off. It works with the Alexa system. It's an Amazon company. blinkprotect.com/guntalk. That'll get you in. Let's see. Let's go into the phones right now. Line 2, Monty is in North Dakota. Let's talk long-range shooting, Monty.
Yeah. Tom, thanks for taking my call. Over 55 years ago, probably even 57 or so, I was with my parents, and we went from Carlisle Community in Saskatchewan east and then north to Old Fort. And at that fort, they were shooting, in the days that that fort was established, 1 mile range targets.
Really? What do you remember what rifles they were using for that?
No, sir. You're talking. I was just a teenager at the time, and I believe the name of the fort was at Canterbury, but I'm not positive. I know it was east and north of Carlisle town, because we had a cabin up at Carlisle Lake, which is later named White Bear Lake. So
wow. Well, because go ahead.
If you have any Canadian listeners that listen to this program from up in that area, they would probably be able to go to the fort today and get to see that same information.
Okay. Well, we'll put our Canadian listeners on. Somebody can give me a holler, let me know. I appreciate the call, Monty. Thank you. Long-range shooting is not new. We know this. In fact, think about it. I don't know what it is. There are certain of us in the human species that like to fling projectiles. And, when you grow up, you're throwing rocks. How far can you throw that? How far can you throw a baseball? How far can you throw a football? How far can I shoot an arrow? And yes, I'm guilty. I was one of the kids that did the dumb thing of, let's shoot an arrow straight up and see how far it goes. Well, what it will do is it will go out of sight. And then guess what it's going to do? It's coming back down, and you don't know where. Don't do that. Kids, don't do that. And don't let your kids warn them about that. That's just dumb. Okay, I got away with it. I got lucky. God looks out for drunks and kids, I guess. I was just a kid. But long range, we want to do things way out there. It's kind of I liken it to remote controls. Guys like their remote controls. And so people have been shooting long range with bows for you go way back thousands of years. But once we got firearms, we wanted to shoot things a long way off. And a good marksman with a muzzleloader rifle could shoot at amazing distances. And then once we got cartridges, well, think about the buffalo hunters. They were shooting out at hundreds of yards, if not farther, using vernier peep sights on their Sharps rifles with cartridges that looked about as long as a cigar. Pretty cool stuff. There's just something about shooting at long range. So no, yes, the competition, well, some of the competitions we do are new. Well, kind of depends on your definition. I'm thinking about the Camp Perry shooting competitions they do there, the national matches. They're shooting at 600 yards. Is that long range? Well, it always seemed like a long way to me. Now, there are some who say, well, yeah, that's nothing now. Well, maybe not now, but you go back 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago shooting at those kind of distances. That's a long way. Of course, now when you talk long-range shooting, you're really talking, pick a number, 1,000 yards, kind of a magic big round number. When you can routinely hit targets, especially steel targets, just because it's so much fun, you get that great feedback from them. When you can routinely hit targets at 1,000 yards, that's pretty cool. I remember, I'm just thinking now, we were in Big Hole, Montana. I was with Hank Williams Jr. at his place there. This has to go back 25 years ago. And he has a great shooting shed. It's kind of like a garage that's made just for shooting, got a window that opens up, and shoot out at the hillside there. And he had a life-size steel cutout of a buffalo. Couldn't quite get 1,000 yards. I mean, I'm just guessing. I think it was like 970, something like that. That's a long way. And he pulled out an original, not a reproduction, original Sharps rifle. I don't remember the caliber. I wish I did. I just don't remember what the caliber was. I don't know if it was, 4570, 4590, whatever it was. And he loads that thing up, and he gets that vernier peep sight up because he knows where he's shooting. He shot it a lot. And you got to remember, the bullet's not real fast. We're not talking about a 3,000 foot per second projectile like out of a modern rifle. We're lobbing that thing out at half that speed, probably. And so you shoot, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, because the bullet's got to go all the way out there, and then if you get a hit, then the sound's got to come all the way back at 1,100 feet per second. So shoot, and then dang. So he 25 years ago, he's shooting his Sharps rifle at 1,000 yards. And, the buffalo hunters were doing the exact same thing. So long-range shooting isn't really that new. A lot of the competitions we're doing now is, and a lot of people have gotten into it. That's the cool new part of it. Let's see. On line 3, Roy's with us out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Hey, Roy, what's your question, sir?
Good afternoon, Tom. Yes, I was wondering, the 223 and the 5.56 are often talked about as if they were the same thing. And yet I understand the 5.56 does have a little more power to it. But is it a difference that really makes a difference as far as hunting or home defense?
No, none whatsoever. And people do use the terms interchangeably. They'll actually shoot the cartridges interchangeably in rifles. The manufacturers will tell us this: to be completely safe, if you have a rifle that's chambered for 5.56, you can shoot 223 in it and 5.56. But if the rifle is marked just 223 Remington, then you should not shoot 5.56 in it. However, everybody does. Okay? So there is essentially no difference in power. There is a teeny, tiny little bit of difference in pressure, and, it's kind of like, yeah, I know. And we all go, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Everybody does it. So if you're choosing, I would find a rifle that is chambered for 5.56, and then you don't have to worry about it. You can shoot whatever you want to shoot in it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck with it. The main thing is, if you're using it for hunting, use good bullets. With 223 and 5.56, we have a myriad of bullets. And most of the bullets we had for many, many years were varmint bullets or full metal jacket bullets, neither of which are particularly good for hunting if you want to hunt deer or antelope. I think that's too light for elk. But now we have great hunting bullets available for these cartridges, and they work really well, they penetrate well, and they do the job. So you just got to make sure if you're going to hunt with a 223 or a 5.56 that you have the right bullets for it. If you're doing that and you do your part, which means put the bullet in the right place, you're probably going to be just fine. As I say, put the bullet on target, then all you have to do is sharpen your knives and go get your venison. We'll be right back.
I heard the click, click, click of her stiletto heels coming down the hall. And I caught her perfume before she opened the door to my office. And she stood there looking like $1,000,000 tax-free. I want to talk to you, she said. Come back later, I said. I'm listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk right now.
As well he should. Tom Gresham here, 866 Talk Gun. Get you in here. By the way, the bodies are stacking up. It's pretty incredible in the state of Missouri. 2 years now, and it's just rivers of blood and... Oh, wait. No. 2 years ago, Missouri passed constitutional carry amid warnings of blood in the streets, bodies everywhere, yada, yada, same old deal, same old deal. 2 years. Huh. Nothing. Didn't happen. Why would that be? Let's examine the logic of this for a second. Who would be affected by making it legal to carry a gun? Who would be not carrying a gun because it's illegal? And who would choose to go ahead and carry a gun when it's illegal? You see where I'm going here, right? Because you see, the whole thing is that when you pass concealed carry, we watched it as it went through all the states. Every time they were discussing it, it was the blood would run into the streets, yada, yada, same old deal, never happened. Gee, why? Because the good guys, the ones who were waiting for the law, don't hurt other people because they're the good guys. And the bad guys don't care about your law. They don't care about constitutional carry. They don't care about carry permits because they're going to carry guns and shoot people and be bad guys because that's what they do. That's who they are. So why would you think that things would change once you get a law that says honest, good people who are already obeying the law can now carry guns to protect themselves and their families? 2 years. Way to go, Missouri. Constitutional carry. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Let's see. John in Reno. He's on line 2. Hey, John, what you shooting?
Hey, Tom. I want to talk about the new, Federal 224 Valkyrie. And I understand that people are having issues with the manufacturer's recommended twist rate of a 1 in 7 twist. And people are saying what you really need is a 6.5 twist. What's going on with that?
I don't know. As you probably know, the real issue is what bullet are you shooting? You know, let me back up. For those who don't know, the rate of twist, that's how fast a bullet spins, and we measure it in how many times or how many inches in barrel does it take for you to get one complete revolution. So it takes 12 inches to get a revolution. That's a slow twist rate. Or 7 inches, and we call it 1 in 7 or 1 in 12. Okay, I wanted to back up because there were some people who weren't going to be able to follow us there, okay? So, yeah, there's talk now about maybe 1 in 6, 1 in 6.5. I don't know. Do you have a Valkyrie?
I do. 20-inch barrel with a 1 in 7 twist, but I haven't had much range time, other than just to make sure that the build would cycle properly. So I haven't done any accuracy or much long range. But...
Okay, so well, you already have the rifle, right?
Yes, sir.
And you already have the barrel?
Yes, sir.
So have you locked in on a particular bullet you're going to be using?
I haven't, but I understand that we can go as light as the 54 grain varmint all the way up to 100 grain.
Well, therein lies the rub, is how far up can you go, how heavy a bullet, which is not really as much how heavy it is as how long it is. And that's
right.
where as you go up in weight, you're going to find out if that 1 in 7 is going to work for you in your rifle, because it's always that. And you may end up figuring out, okay, 100 grain bullets don't shoot well in this, and you may have to back off a little bit. Or if you decide, hey, I've got to have the 100 grain bullets, and they don't shoot well in a 1 in 7, you may have to rebarrel.
I see.
But as to your original question, I don't know where we are, but you just have to test it. You have to see how it works with your bullets, your barrel, your rifle, the whole package. And if it's that's that old deal, if it's working for you, just say your blessing, count your blessings and say, okay, thank you, that's working. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to mess with it. If it doesn't work, then you got to change something. Either have a different bullet. And here's the weird part. Sometimes you can get 2 different brands of bullet of the same bullet weight, and one will stabilize and one will not. So, it's a process, and sometimes it's frustrating. But if you're weird, like I suspect you are, because I know that's kind of how I am, you think, this is cool. I get to experiment with all this neat stuff.
That's right.
That's right? I called it, didn't I?
You did.
All right. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. If you'd like to be a part of the craziness, by all means, give us a holler. As you can tell, we have a lot of fun around here. I'm Tom Gresham.
Why do hunters and shooters love the Ruger American Rifle? With right-handed and left-handed versions, all-weather, Magnum, Compact, Predator, Ranch, and Scope package options, there's a Ruger American for everyone. Lightweight with an adjustable trigger and minute of angle accuracy, Ruger American rifles pack in the features. Is the Ruger American the best rifle on the market? See for yourself at your local retailer or at Ruger.com. That's Ruger.com.
When someone leaves you their gun collection, you may want a few, but what do you do with the rest? How do you sell them? who do you call? Well, I call Johnny Dury at Dury's Guns. Whether you're selling one gun or 500, they'll tell you what it's worth and write you a check. Simple, quick, easy, fair. I trust Dury's Guns. Give them a call. Dury'sGuns.com. You like free stuff, right? You like good deals, and you want more guns, ammo, and accessories. So get all of that with the free, yes, the free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you'll get special offers and deals when you walk into a gun store. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Who wouldn't want that? Gun Dealio at the App Store and Google Play. GunDealio.com.
Maximize your firepower and accuracy with Remington's new Model 1911 R1 Limited Double Stack. Up to 19+1 double stack capacity, so you can spend more time shooting and less time loading. Next level accuracy and handling with a 5-inch ramped match-grade barrel and adjustable match-grade trigger for greater precision. Learn more at Remington.com/handguns. The new Remington Model 1911 R1 Limited Double Stack. Welcome to a new era at Remington.
Well, here's a win, although we shouldn't have needed to have the fight in the first place. In the state of California, a federal court has struck down a law, believe it or not, that since 1923 has banned gun stores from putting up signs advertising the sale of handguns. Really? Yeah, they couldn't put up a picture of a handgun, couldn't put up a sign that says we sell handguns. And so that was challenged, as you might expect, on First Amendment grounds. Interesting. It was part of the California Penal Code, first enacted in 1923. It banned gun stores from putting up signs advertising the sale of handguns, but not shotguns or rifles. The court held that, according from the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia in the Heller decision, it said the enshrinement of constitutional rights necessarily takes certain policy choices off the table. What they're saying is, when we have constitutional rights, you don't have the option of taking those rights away. So here's the weird part. The law completely banned handgun-related signs, but a gun store could put up a sign that says guns, 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 or a 15-foot picture of an AR-15, and that's allowed. So anyway, that got struck down, and hope that it just stays that way. By the way, there are a number of cases that either should be or are making their way to the Supreme Court, and one would hope that once we get Justice Kavanaugh, some of these will now be accepted, because the Supreme Court has turned down a number of Second Amendment cases, leaving bad decisions standing at the lower level, and we will hope that we will see some action out of the Supreme Court from that. Got my fingers crossed on that one. Let's see here. Taking a look. Oh, Tony, line 3, Marshall, Texas. Hey, Tony, 223 versus 556. Talk to me.
Well, the shoulders are changed, is what it is. The military took the shoulder of the 223 and angled it a little more, which had increased the pressure and got up to NATO standards or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And when you shoot it in a Ruger Ranch rifle Mark 223 Remington, what happens is that's too much pressure. It don't have the right angle, and it'll break. The case will break right there where they need it to make the shoulder. And you need to buy you a ruptured case cartridge remover from Brownells because you will need it.
Well, this sounds like the voice of experience talking here.
I've shot them for about 44 years.
Yeah, you had to remove the case from the rifle?
Sir?
You had to take the broken case out of the rifle?
No, I had to do that to a 308 one time, but no, not a 223. I kind of learned that one the hard way, watching other people making mistakes. But
gotcha.
One comment
and that's why. Sure, go ahead.
If they're going to complain about signs of guns, pictures of guns in the window, Let's take them pictures of the gun with a circle and a line through it. Let's take them off, too.
Oh, I like that. I like the way you think. Say, okay, if you can't show pictures of guns, then we'll take off the circle, cross-out circle with the gun on the gun-free zones. Beautiful. Well done, sir. Thank you for the call. Yeah, the whole 223 versus 556. If you want to be completely safe, and you should be, if your rifle is marked 223 Remington, do not shoot ammo that is 556 in it. If your rifle is marked 556, then you can shoot both in it. Or you can go another way. You can get the 223 Wild, W-Y-L-D-E, which, as I understand it, you can shoot both of them in it. So it's just kind of your call. Let's talk to Matt, who's in Corpus Christi on line 2. Hey, Matt, what you got?
Hey, Tom, I got a range report. The dove hunting's been a little slow with all the rain down here in South Texas, so we pulled a FN57 out this morning and had a bunch of fun. That's a neat little pistol.
Oh, it is. It is one loud barking son of a gun, though, isn't it?
Yes, sir. You're not lying. The other thing is I've got a Rieger bolt action in 450 Bushmaster that we like using for hog hunting down here. We're a little hesitant to put the thermal scope on it, and I just wanted to see what your opinion was on the recoil with that 450.
Are you're hunting them at night?
Yes, sir.
Now, have you tried either? What's your background? Have you shot night scopes or thermal? Because those are two different things.
No, sir. No, just thermal is the only thing that we've shot.
And you shot the 450. I don't know that the recoil is going to be that much worse than, say, something like a 308.
Really? Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that it's not going to do much more in the way of recoil than that. I would definitely use a thermal. I wouldn't hesitate. I would try it, and I think it's going to work. And thermal, it's just a different thing, isn't it, man? When you can go thermal, it's like cheating when you're out there.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just people go. You just have no idea until you've gone out there with a thermal scope, and nothing can hide. It just glows. I mean, and you look at it and go, okay, yeah, no, that's a cat, that's a coyote, that's a but everything shines like they're internally lit up. It's crazy.
Yes, sir. Sure enough. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let's see. Larry's on 4 out of Anchorage, Alaska. Hey, Larry, what you got there?
Well, I got a question, Tom. I'm not real experienced with shotguns, but I inherited a Savage, I believe it's a 508 bolt action shotgun, and it has a magazine that holds two rounds plus the one in the pipe. I've got some problems with the extractor, but I'm not sure whether this weapon is worth fixing, or if it's worth anything, or that's why I said I'm going to call the experts, see what they got to say.
Well, it's not worth much unless there's a lot of sentimental value in it. I would say if you're trying to find parts for it, I'm going to give you a place to go. Okay. Your local gunsmith may be able to fix it, and if you can, that's great. But I would say go to Brownells because they are kind of the place for that. Brownells.com is the website. Let me see if I can get a phone number for you real fast before I run out of time. If I can find it on their website, I'm sure it's here. I just can't find it. But Brownells.com. If you go there, you'll be able to. They have parts, and they've got techs there. If you call and say, "Look, I need to talk to one of your techs," they can help you out and tell, "I've got this gun. This is what's going on with it." And they go, "Okay, here's what you need to do." That's one of the things I love about it. 800-741-0011, I believe it is for Brownells. But anyway, just go to Brownells.com. All right, our number here, 866-TALK-GUN. If you'd like to be a part of this, give me a call. Out of Dallas, Dallas, man on a train shoots somebody else on a DART train. The police come to arrest him, but everybody says, no, wait, got the wrong guy. The guy who did the shooting was actually a defensive shooting, and the guy he shot was doing the attacking. And the police looked at it and went, yeah, you're right. So they let the good guy go. He used his gun in self-defense, saved some folks there. Simple as that. By the way, see this out of Paris. 7 wounded in Paris knife attack, including British Egyptian tourist. It's everywhere, and it doesn't have to be a terrorism attack. It can be just some Looney Tunes crazy person. And crazy is everywhere. Crazy comes around the corner when you least expect it. I always say, look, when you put on your gun in the morning, you need to say to yourself, not, I may have to use this today. You say, this is the day it's going to happen. Why would you do that? Why would you program yourself that way? Well, it's programming. And what you have done is you've gotten over the idea that, wow, I can't believe this is happening. You've already said, no, it's happening. I'm just recognizing it. It will reduce your reaction time. And your reaction time will save lives. It really is as simple as that. Hey, I got a question for you. What's the craziest shot you ever made? Could be the longest, the fastest, the most interesting, a trick shot, something you did as a kid, something you did. What's the craziest, most interesting shot you've ever made? Call me right now. We'll get you on the after show. We're going to knock this around a little bit. 866 Talk Gun. I'm just kind of thinking about that. We were talking about long-range shooting earlier. When I grew up, wasn't supposed to do this, but had a BB gun, Daisy Model 25, and we lived on a lake. And down, the house was kind of on a hill, and it could shoot BBs down toward the lake and see them splash. It wasn't going to hurt anything. It wasn't going to ricochet. And we had a light pole down there with a big old silver cheap reflector for lights or floodlight. And I got pretty good. I could stand off. It was probably 65, 70 yards with a BB gun like that. And you could see the BBs. You could see the trajectory in the air, so you could adjust. And I got to where I could go tunk, and then ping. I dented the fool out of that thing. And what was amazing to me is my dad never said anything to me about it. It was very clear that I was shooting this light. Couldn't hit the bulb, the direction. I was shooting kind of at the back. And with a BB, you're just going to bounce off of it. And so that was kind of my maybe my early version of long-range shooting. I don't know if that's my most interesting shot, but it was certainly an early version of long-range shooting, that's for sure. The Moms Demand groups are at it. The Evertown groups are at it, and they're working all the time. You may not hear about it, but they're working in your legislatures all the time to get more gun ban bills passed, more quote-unquote universal background check bills passed, the red flag laws, where anybody can turn you in and get your guns confiscated laws passed. They're doing that all the time. If you're not involved, you're backing up. If you're not pulling the wagon, you're in the wagon, and we're having to pull you. And we are 50 days away from the midterm elections. If we lose control of the Senate, we lose the ability to confirm Supreme Court justices. I'm just going to ask you to start thinking about making that commitment, to be there, to get your friends there, to talk it up. Talk about the things that I talked about what Fast and Furious and Operation Choke Point, and the things the Obama administration did. They didn't care if people died. Literally, they said that. We don't care. The quote was, well, if you're going to make an omelet, you have to break a few eggs. And so, yeah, some law enforcement people are going to get murdered with these guns that we're running down in Mexico, but that's the way it is. Really? That's what we could go back to. That kind of thinking. That kind of rogue behavior. 866 Talk Gun. What is your most amazing, interesting shot? Longest, fastest, shortest, maybe the most interesting gun you ever shot. Now, let's talk about it during the after show. In the meantime, go out and do a little shooting, watch your six, and carry always. I'm Tom Gresham. Take care.